It's a great day to start making every fish in Georgia into a bait. As I said, fish will be random, so let's see what's on the agenda today. Fuck. Well, I knew I said that it's gonna be a challenge, but let's just think about this for a second. This fat piece of shit doesn't look like anything that could be made into a nice swim bait or glide bait without getting rid of the fatness of the fish. I think that our best bet for today is going for a topwater wake bait. Yeah, that profile allows much thicker baits without compromising the action. Actually, it helps the action a lot. So yeah, let's just do it. So I found this piece of balsa laying around, which will be perfect for this project. So this will be a lipless wake bait. Now for the hard part, figuring out the top profile of it. This looks fine. So we have the side profile that fits this piece of wood perfectly. Nice. This will be a thick boy. Fuck, it's backwards. Not crazy about drums, but we could possibly get this into something that looks awesome. Yeah, we will have to work on the bottom profile, but we will just make that up as we go. So here we are in my backyard and we are ready to cut this. Nice, we got the rough profile, and yeah, don't tease me about this, I just love this bandsaw. This cost me $35 from Facebook Marketplace. Now obviously in the shop I'm working on something a bit more powerful than this, but for my backyard and for these easy projects, this is perfectly fine. You guys have all seen those gorgeous videos where the guy goes like, oh, let's carve this, and that's fine, that's really fine, but I just like rough shaping everything with a bad sander and then working a bit more on the sculpting aspect of it with my Dremel tool. Okay, hang tight. We got this awesome looking bad sander. Hopefully you guys can see it, but roughly this is the profile that I'm going for. Something that's a bit narrower up here, it's a bit broader down here. Yeah, this is actually gonna be fun. Okay, so hand carving. Dremel with this little carving attachment makes quick work of this. Now you have to be careful because you can really easily screw up your whole project with this. But luckily we know what we are doing. Fuck! I forgot the mask. Hang on. So first, to get rid of the gouges, I'm gonna use this 80 grit really overused attachment. So, as you guys can see, we are done with the rough shaping, so it's time for some hand tools to slowly approach that really nice profile that we want. After a crap load of sanding, we arrive to a shape that I'm kinda digging. So the only thing left out here before the sealing and the carving is actually cutting it into 3 pieces. As you can see, this is the kind of joint that I was going for. You can get a ton of movement, but from the side it actually looks okay. So last thing before we can get into carving the face details and going for the CA glue bath is obviously the joints. Now I usually just eyeball these on one-off baits. You know, you can never really go that wrong with it. There are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind, like obviously you cannot put it really deep because then you will be drilling into the lead. You cannot put it really high because then where do you put the hole? So, you know, somewhere in the middle. I will be using this carving bit for my Dremel, and I just push it in and clear lots of room without it being an eyesore, but I just want free, unhindered swing for the joints. So yeah, that's done. Obviously I need to seal it, but basically you're just walking a fine line between leaving as much room for the joint as possible without it showing up from the side, because let's face it, that's just ugly as fuck. So yeah, we want to achieve something like this. You see, ton of movement, joints don't really show. Good. So before the CA glue, we actually need to drill these holes for the hinge pins and dry fit everything together just to make sure that we don't need to make any more adjustments, because after the CA glue, it's just sanding finish. So for hinge pins, we're gonna use these stainless steel finishing nails. Perfect. Now obviously we're gonna cut the head of the nail, fully hind it in the bait, but yeah, this is a nice fit. So for the tail section, oh yeah, perfect amount of movement. You see, and the joints look really nicely separated. We still preserve the shape of the fish, but we have a ton of movement. So as you can see, we are done with the tail slot. We cut this with a bandsaw and also drilled it. You will see later why. We will make a special tail that fits all of this perfectly. So now we are ready for some super glue. This is gonna be a cool bait. This is a Wakebait, so obviously it needs to be floating. I think we can get this to crank down, but only if it barely floats. This is exactly what we need. I'm thinking this is really nice and flat. We will add a ton of lead here and here. So yeah, luckily I forgot to film this part, but basically I just drilled 2 holes and then, poured some lead in it. We are ready to paint. You can see the bait is all smooth and shiny because I want the scale patterns to really pop. Yeah, excuse my disgusting fingers, I just finished painting a bunch of other paints and yeah, I don't fucking care, so deal with it. I actually found a picture that I really like, this boring ass fish. Ta-da! We just gonna do the kiss method. Keep it simple, stupid. First, opaque white, then some scales with this bronze metal color. Do the face with antique copper and some patterns with the antique copper. Do the belly with champagne and then pull everything together with a black. Let's get cracking. And just for shits and giggles, we're gonna put this dragonfly glaze. Holy shit. This looks seriously awesome. I didn't show you guys because it's the boring part, but off camera I actually made a tail mold for our nice little bait. That looks like this. I will have other videos where I'm detailing how to design these tail molds and what goes into the whole process and how to 3D print these, what are the necessary materials, etc, etc. But this video is long enough already, so tail mold. We're gonna use silicone for this tail. I just love silicone much more than plastisol for tails, because they are just much more durable. They have roughly the same amount of flexibility, but at the end of the day what I really want is durability. So we have this EcoFlex 35 Fast, which is just awesome. You can crank out a bunch of tails really fast, but you have to be really quick about it. This is not for the faint of heart. So obviously the bait is like this copperish color, and we want to match the tail to the bait's color, so that we have this nice coffee mica powder. You can grab it from Amazon, it's like not that. We just measure out equal parts, grab some mica, too much, not too little. Fine. Stay straight. And then fuck off. Just real quick pour this into our mold. We were right on the money. Perfect. And then after 5 minutes, it's demolding time. And go! Yeah, it's a spiffy looking tail. I like it. Yeah, so now we need to do a couple of things, but I'm not gonna bore you with the details. Basically, the bait needs some eyes, obviously. Luckily, I have some eyes laying around right here. Yeah, these ones should look perfect. So yeah, after that, just a quick clear coating session, putting on the hardware, nothing fancy. I just went to Home Depot to pick up these stainless steel nails. I'm not gonna bore you with all of this. Let's continue with the assembly. And we are back. Everything is ready. We got the bait clear coated. As you can see, I put on some nice googly eyes. Just have a soft spot for googly eyes. Let's just dry fit everything. As I said, we need these stainless steel nails. Yep. Perfect. The tail piece. Fuck. Ah, this hurt. Yeah, nice and bubbly. And let's see the tail. Oh yeah. This is some real flippy floppy shit. And I love it. Cool. So, we are out here in the not so quiet lake. Let's see how this beauty swims. If we made everything correctly, then this should crank below the surface and then float up slowly. And we should be able to easily walk the dog with this one. Let's just walk it. Oh, walks gorgeously. Okay, now here comes the big question. Does it crank down? And blast off. Oh hell yeah. And I don't know if the video picks it up, but it has a really nice knocking sound. So what did we learn from this bait? Actually quite a lot. This is a pretty uniquely shaped bait because it has a really flat bottom. It has a really big bulbous head, and the top of the head is almost completely flat in an angle that can catch the water, and we put enough weight so it sits barely below the surface, and the tie is sitting pretty low. Now because of this, it catches the water, it catches a ton of water when you start cranking it, and it starts swimming below the surface, like 1.5 foot below the surface, which is just awesome. You can still walk it, and it makes an amazing rattling sound. As this is not a traditionally vertically elongated bait, this doesn't have a really nice tracking action that you want from your swim bait. I intentionally smooshed the profile down, so because of this, it throws the belly to the side. That's why we painted this in this awesome metallic champagne color, because as it throws this, it just keeps on flashing. It still swims nice, but this swimming action is actually combined with throwing action to the side. It never blows out, there's a ton of weight in this and it's perfectly stable, but it has a really nice flash when it swims. All in all, I'm pretty happy with this bait. and I'm pretty sure that this would be an awesome spring or early summer bait. Throwing it near the shallows for those feeding bass. It has a nice clickety sound, and the action combined with the flashing and everything is just so unique. I'm really happy with how this bait came out. And this just goes to show that, you know, there's no boring fish to make a bait out of. Like, who would have thought that freshwater drum would be such an amazing starting off point for a wake bait. That's all for this week's video, and I'm really excited to see what's the fish for next week. I hope to see you guys soon, and as always, tight lines.